Cheers to the biggest green and most bullish day of the year, retail trading team. This is your routine debrief. We're going to start today's cooldowns by reviewing my sub-alpha results. Okay, so I lost 800 bucks today. And you know what? I'm still calling that a B performance, and I'm pretty happy about it actually. So the trade that hurt me was the major resistance trade that's been on my trading plan for several sessions now. It was the fade of that first touch of the 39.20-ish zone. And obviously we did touch that. We did reverse a little bit today. Didn't hit the profit target. And obviously at the end of the day, we went back through it and I did get stopped out. Crazy move across the board. So in the routine review, I've been looking at that Japanese yen 6J had a crazy reversal today on more than 4%. Was also looking at gold bullish, another big day in gold. Bonds been tentatively bullish with a Jade Lizard finally came through today. Just a really crazy reversal across the board, and you just can't defend against that. So sometimes you're going to take an L, and that's okay. It really, even with that stop out, would have been a performance with me or for me if I got more aggressive with the bullish move that we saw later in the day. I saw it coming. It was pretty clearly telegraphed in the order flow, and I just wanted to sit in my position and kind of hope and pray a little bit. Whereas I could have probably added pretty significantly to the profits and definitely had a green day if I had just taken advantage of that move. So still a B performance, no worries. We're going into tomorrow and we're going to get them back. They owe us some money. So let's look at tomorrow's 0DT landscape and see what we got going on here. So most importantly, I want to draw your attention to that white ellipse that has been on this chart for a long time. In fact, it's been on the chart so long, I haven't even given it its nice little white outline. So as I do that, just to satisfy my own neuroticism, let's look at that area specifically. So that is going to coincide with our yearly VWAP, the 200 SMA, and most importantly, really, is I'm going to use a little arrow here and draw your attention to this zone right there. Again, coloring it white to satisfy the neuroticism. And what is that? That is our value area high on this yearly chart. So remember, volume profile theory says once we get past the POC, which is here at 3,700, we're apt to go and test the value area high. And whether or not we get rejected from it or decide that value is a little higher, time will tell. But it's going to be really important to watch price as we enter that zone, as we start to maybe address those trend lines. But really, before we get there, I think that we may run into a bit of supply. And I think this supply might even hold, believe it or not. So let's go look at that chessboard and I'll explain why. So if you look at our chessboard TPO here, to go back to the hand tool, if you look at our chessboard TPO here, here's what we got going on. So we have a really thick demand zone, no doubt about it, all the way from the POC, right near the POC to that 39.50 area from today. You can see some singles. Those just represent emotional buying, potential supports. We have another potential support at this naked POC here, and really all the way down, you have some possibilities of support if we do get that pullback. But I'm not really looking for a huge pullback tomorrow. Could it happen? Yes, of course. The trend is still down. However, I do think that we're going to go address that 4,000 handle. I'm not sure exactly where we're going to reverse in there, but if we look at the supply zone, we have a couple decently tight potential spots. So as we near it, we have singles at about, I think that's 39.90 and right below that 4,000 area. Then even above it, we have a couple more at 40.15 and 40.30. Do I think that these are necessarily going to reverse the move altogether? No. However, what I'm going to be looking for tomorrow is a trade against them. I am not giving up on those short calls, and I think that once we get near that 4,000 handle, we'll get a nice opportunity. Obviously, we can continue higher, but my personal plan is to still be looking for that two-sided action. I do like the condors in this environment. Obviously, out of the money, and we want to have good signals. but I will be looking for a fade if we can get a bit of a push tomorrow. Regardless, I do see any dip with a good signal as a buying opportunity, and that's just kind of the landscape for tomorrow specifically. So if we look at volatility, um, something interesting that occurred later in the day is we got that divergence, and in fact, we diverged and pushed above what was resistance and now is potentially acting as support. So it was a pretty, by the way, I'm sorry, I keep clearing my throat. I do have a scratchy throat, so bear with me. Um, anyway, so volatility is not, so it was, the VIX was down about 10% today. Is no question a big drop, but it didn't give it up completely. We're no longer in the free fall that we looked like we were in this morning. So I think that's going to be important to watch as we go into tomorrow. Above this 2580 area, we have some potential for that two-sided action. But if we really start to break below, and most importantly for me, we make a new low, we might go into that free fall action again and resume the strong upward trend. And that's all I got for you today. So just kind of be looking at those key levels tomorrow. I think it's going to be a pretty good condor day. Fingers crossed, obviously. And we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So stay tuned for the newsletter in the morning with any updates. And besides that, feel free to engage with any of the other links in the description. Feel free to comment on this video. I'm always happy to answer questions. And we'll get back to business tomorrow and hopefully make some money. And until then, stay classy.